Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Cameron, so thank you so much. This is from Tacoma. This is from E9 Brewing, and haven't heard of them before in Tacoma, Washington. And so E9 is actually the first brewery in Tacoma. I think they actually opened in '95, so that's really early in the age of craft beer. If you guys want to, you guys should go on. One of the great stats I like to look up is just a graph of, I think it's on the Brewers Association, of like how breweries used to look like. So we had, I think at some point, like 4,000 breweries in this country, like pre-prohibition in the late 1800s. And then I think at the time, like 95, there's like probably like 300 or 400 breweries in the entire country. Now we're at like 9,000. So it's pretty crazy. So the graph literally looks like, it looks like prohibition, and then it's like stagnant, and then like yeah, the boom just goes like this. Like it's if you can invest in stocks of how many breweries this country would have, you'd be a very rich person if you invested in the last 10 years, 15 years, 10 years, all right? Anyway, that's a whole to-do that has nothing to do with about this beer. So E9, this is Wild Tacoma Raspberry. This is a fruited American wild ale, multiple year barrel age blended with wild ale with raspberries from Storino Farms in Puyallup Valley, 5.9%. Fruited sour, batch 2. Pretty interesting label. Definitely smell some stuff when I cracked it open, or popped it open. Beautiful raspberry color on that. I mean, that's that kind of like glowy raspberry / cherry kind of sour kind of color to it. Looks very nice, yeah. Nice carbonation on that. It has all those funky notes. I mean, like, it's one of those things where like what off flavors are in here? Well, all of them. It's acetic, it's vinegary. There's probably a little bit of diacetyl in there. There's some of that stinky kind of butyric, vomity thing maybe, with all those funky flavors. But then there's underneath it, because that's my initial kind of like waft. Underneath it is that like big, rich kind of like mixed fermentation barrel aged sour raspberry thing. It's just fresh raspberries, jammy. And then it's acidic underneath. It's got a little funk underneath it too. It's a little bit woody, a little bit vinegary too. So it's like yogurt. It's tart. It's lemon juicy, but it's also vinegary. It's got that beautiful raspberry note. Salivating as we speak. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. There's breweries that make this beer. There's Allagash. There's Upland. There's DeGard. There's what's another brewery that makes something this good? Firestone Walker. Yeah, they're all in this conversation. I mean, again, there are other hype breweries that like definitely make these quality beers that are definitely out there, and like, you know, you guys can post in the comments below which one's your favorite. But it's on that par of like all those delicious breweries that make this, like, you know, wonderfully fruity, acetic, so like vinegary, woody, sour beer, but balanced. So it's like that lemon yogurty thing, Greek yogurt, with that jamminess a little bit. But this one, a little bit seedy. Some of these beers are very jammy. I think Jester King, there you go. This one leans a little bit more on acidity, a little less on the fruitiness. Not to say the fruit's not there. That vinegar on the back end is slightly singular. Nice note. I also feel like this could use a little bit more carbonation to it, which would actually make it more sour, but I feel like I like the prickly carbonation on these beers. I don't know, it's fun. It's delicious. Yeah, that's one thing I'd say. I think it could use a little slight pullback on the acetic, that vinegary kind of note, and then just a little bump up on the carbonation. But otherwise, really well built. Also, for the people that are fruit heads, I think, you know, you could add another how many barrels per pound, and I'm sure there's a stupid amount of fruit already in this beer, so, you know, it's hard to ask for that, but that is fantastic though. Super refreshing, just like wonderfully complex. So it has that a little bit of tannic wood note. The funkiness is just, it's there because it's definitely on the aroma. It's definitely there, but on the palate, the acidity is, you know, pretty high. I mean, it's not like the most sour beer I've ever had. It's not full acidity. It's medium plus to full, and it's that's good though. That's really good. Again, even to enter the conversation of many of those world-class sour breweries that I mentioned, this beer from me gets a solid 90 Solid 95. 95. This is E9. This is wild Tacoma raspberry. Absolutely delicious. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.